Al Jazeera's Kristen Saloomey met with Richard Stengel, who is the U.S. Undersecretary of State for Public Diplomacy and Public Affairs. He told her that the continued detention of our colleagues is worrying for the U.S. administration.
Yes, we're very concerned about it. In fact, myself as a former journalist, it's something that I feel passionately about. The fact that the Al Jazeera 3 were detained for committing journalism is something that goes against everything that we believe in. We believe in a robust free speech environment, and that's something that's very important for Egypt too, going forward, for their own economy, for foreign investment. So we constantly urge people all around the world, and of course the leadership in Egypt, to preserve and protect that free speech environment and the journalists who work there.
I know President Obama just spoke to President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Do you know what he told him, what he said about this?
Well, they did speak recently. He did raise the general issue of the detention of journalists and civil society activists and having that free speech space. And he did mention the Al Jazeera journalists as well.
I think for me and for people who work for Al Jazeera and know these men and are worried about them and their families, and let's be honest, it's personal for us. Mm-hmm. What we find hard to swallow is the United States, just as these men were being convicted, gave the Egyptian government $1.5 billion, most of it for military purposes. Why is the United States supporting a government that is repressing journalists, is repressing peaceful demonstrators, and doing things that are contrary to the rule of law?
Well, I'm going to take exception to various parts of your question, and I think they're two separate issues, and but they're aligned around the idea that we talk to the Egyptian government, we talk to President al-Sisi about preserving the rule of law, protecting the rule of law, protecting civil society, protecting free speech. I mean, those interests are aligned in the sense that the Al Jazeera 3 are caught in that nexus, and we want them to be released. We want them to be let go on almost any terms, and so that's our particular focus here.
Do you see any reason to be optimistic? Is there any hope that we can give these 3 journalists and their family that they may actually get to go home in the new year?
You ask what hope is there. I mean, President al-Sisi, I think, has expressed interest in resolving this situation, and he even said that it probably should have been resolved initially in a different way. I think he very much wants to have a successful outcome here, which we share. But getting to that spot is not so easy.